We do believe there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are. You are not here by chance. You are here by divine appointment. And our viewing audience, you tuned in at this moment because this is the message for you. It's live your dream. The theme for the month is living in balance. I love that because I think one of the greatest things that when we get out of balance, we're not having fun anymore. My barometer in life is, am I having fun? Am I experiencing joy? A 5th century Catholic monk, Teilhard de Chardin, said joy is the most infallible sign of the presence of God. I love that. If we are experiencing joy and we are giving out to the universe gives back to us in exact proportion that we are giving out. And so this morning, as we come together to acknowledge living our dream, that every mastermind session we have, and remember, a mastermind group is a very powerful group of like-minded people that come together to speak their word into the law of mind and to know that within the energy field there are like-minded people who affirm you, who want you to have what you want. Your success makes mine possible. My success makes yours possible. Because there really is only one of us. When we are so happy for each other, the universe smiles on that. Our good expands in miraculous, miraculous ways. And the reason that I know this is that I have lived these principles and I have been like at the brink, remembering the words of Dr. Ernest Holmes, when things look the worst, is the best time to pray, the best time to do spiritual mind treatment, because we will shift the energy that's going on in that moment. And we get so caught up in that moment, and it is just a moment. We give our power away to people, places, and things, forgetting the experience, strength, and hope resides within us at every single moment. So as we come together this morning to acknowledge our divine purpose, our highest vision, our deepest desire, our most sacred goal, and to realize that we have that within us, that we are not chasing enlightenment. Enlightenment is not something we go after or we think that we're going to get. It's not outside of ourselves. Buddha said that the path to enlightenment is vertical, and that when we are moving up that spiral, and we are opening to the truth that sets us free to be who and what we are, that we begin to have the aha moments. We begin to acknowledge, this is how that works. And begin to live our lives in such a way that we are in alignment with universal principles of life. And that going against the river, how many of us we're swimming upstream? And we think, oh, if it's just so hard, and I'm working so hard, and I'm doing so much, and if to make it really hard, then when I get there, we can just, oh, thank God I made it. It was just so hard. Like that's the justification for getting there. But the truth is, that moment of enlightenment, of realizing we're already there. We're just going to allow ourselves to dance. And as we do the dance, the universe dances with us as a wonderful partner. Joseph Campbell told a story, and I love the story about, he was speaking to a Shinto priest, and he said, tell me of your philosophy, tell me of your doctrines, tell me what it is that you adhere to. And the Shinto priest said, philosophies, doctrines, what we adhere to. And then he looked up and said, we have no doctrines or philosophies necessarily, or what we adhere to. We dance. And I love that, because to dance is to be in alignment with the universe in the divine flow of the universe. Living our dream is doing what we love and loving what we do. One of my very favorite stories is about Jack Lemmon. You younger ones may not remember Jack Lemmon, but he was a very famous movie star. And he was on a lot of wonderful things. And he said that his father, and his father before him, and his father before him, they were all bakers. And they had these mills, and they made all these wonderful things. And of course, he was the next in line to be the baker. And he said, I didn't want to be a baker. I wanted to be an actor. And I wanted to go to summer stock. And he said, I just didn't know quite how to say it to my dad because they were so expecting me to be a baker. And he said, my dad came and he was in the shop and they were making all these wonderful confectionaries and bread and, you know, the smell of the bread and all of that. And his father came and said, I know, son, you don't want to be a baker, that you want to be an actor. Now, how dear old dad ever knew that is, you know, was beyond him. And he said he opened up the cash register, and that day he took out $300, which was a lot of money in that day. And he said, go to summer stock, go to New York, go to summer stock. He said, the day I don't find romance in the aroma of a loaf of bread is the day that I resign from being this baker that I've been all these years. Go and find your aroma. Joseph Campbell would say, go and follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. He was an Academy Award winner several times, an amazing actor doing what he loved and loving what he was putting out into the universe because this was his passion. And it doesn't matter what that passion is. If I love it, if I embrace it. I know we have a lot of real estate people here that are part of our community. And I love what Trish said. I love to sell to first-time buyers because the look in their eyes, the energy, that this is one of the most important decisions that we make is, I'm going to buy my home, my very first home. When we get that energy of living our dream, it takes courage to live our dream. It takes courage to discipline ourselves. It takes courage to say, this is the path that I'm going to follow. Because there are a lot of distractions in the world, and some of them are very worthy distractions. But it's up to us to acknowledge them, deal with them, and keep on keeping on, as Dr. Ernest Holmes stated. Now, one of the books that I wanted to share with you was Being in Balance, where I got the theme, I Only Steal from the Best, by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And he wrote this wonderful book that I recommend. And I saw him on PBS recently, and you know, he has just come through leukemia. He's come out on the other side of it. He went to John of God in Brazil. You know, he actually, it was a remote healing. He opened himself up to this healing, and he said for a while he really bought into the leukemia diagnosis. And his kids would send him things about, you know, life expectancy with leukemia and what to expect, and he would say, don't send me this. This doesn't serve me. And they would say, but this is how it is. He said, it's not how it is for me. And he made a decision, this is not how it is for me. And he began to open himself, and the miracles began to flow in. And he said, recently there was a study of the 3 most spiritual people on our planet. And he said the Dalai Lama was first, Eckhart Tolle was second, and he was third. And he thought, wow, I didn't even know there was such a list. It's incredible. I'm out living my dream. I'm doing what I love what I do. Yes, life happens when you least expect it. In the ancient Yiddish way, they say, you know, man plans and God laughs. Because sometimes it just doesn't happen the way that we picture that it should happen. Anyone ever experienced that? It's just not how I envisioned it to happen. You know, are you listening? Hello, God, it's me. Of course, I heard this great, wonderful little joke about the guy who was golfing, and he was out there, and everything he hit was in the sand. And I am not a golfer, but I know about sand traps, and I know about the sand traps in life as well. And he was just having an awful day of golf, and finally he just took his golf club and he just shook it up into the heavens and said, "Why me, God?" And the heavens opened, and the voice came and said, "I don't know, Frank. There's just something about you that ticks me off." So we don't really believe in that kind of an anthropomorphic God, do we? We believe that God is energy, that God is light, that God is presence. But in a way, it seems like that I'm being tested. I'm being so tested. We're testing ourselves. And as we come through our own self-imposed test, we always land on higher ground. I always say whenever I have felt the rug has been pulled out from under me, I always land on higher ground. Living our dream is about opening to that bliss, that energy that makes our heart sing. So he said, you know, he thought it was, you know, he was just absolutely so taken with it. And he said, then my ego came in. And the ego said, gee, Wayne, you're only third spiritual person in the universe. Gosh, you better get together with Eckhart Tolle. Maybe we can plan something for the Dalai Lama. And I have met the Dalai Lama when I was speaking at the United Nations University for Peace in Costa Rica. The most humble, wonderful man. This was in the 80s. And as I was sounding my crushed crystal quartz bowl, because someone sent it to me for the harmonic convergence in 1987, and I was playing it, he told me it was the purest sound that he'd ever heard. It was emanating to the heart chakra. The heart is that place where the soul resides. The heart chakra, remember that in the ancient Sanskrit, which is the greatest spiritual language on the planet, that a chakra means a wheel of spinning energy in a clockwise fashion. That we have 7 major chakras in this body temple, many, many more, but 7 major that are paid attention to. The heart being the doorway to the soul. And of course the throat chakra, our power center. Jesus the Christ said, decree a thing and it is established unto thee. And when Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, this is what you're going to do, and Moses, he did not want that role. That was not how he envisioned his life. He didn't even think it was part of his life path, but there was something within him that gave way to who he really was. And he began to embrace that role. Someone said, well, he wandered for 40 years in the wilderness. Why didn't somebody just give him directions? I mean, to wander that long. And I said, because he wouldn't have learned his lesson any other way. When we're wandering, when we're in the wilderness of our own consciousness, when we're in doubt, fear, trepidation, all that stuff that comes up where the heart starts beating and the solar plexus, you're feeling the fear and the butterflies. The moment we say peace, and this is what I do, I say peace, be still. That whatever is going on at this moment is not the truth of who I am. And we all have fear. That's the real F word, incidentally. The 4-lettered F word is fear, in case you didn't know that. And BS, that's just belief system. And when you can get rid of the BS, the belief system that keeps you stuck, feeling less than, undeserving, and I don't deserve to live my dream. Who do I think I am? Just remember, you are a son and daughter of the living God, and it is good and very good. And if anyone tells you differently, they are off base. They're the sinners. And remember, sin is an ancient Hebraic word. It means I've missed the mark. It was an archery term. And every time they missed the bullseye, they said, oh, I've sinned. I missed the mark. Every time that we forget who we are, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Every time we have fallen short, we allow ourselves to rise up and remember who we are. That know you not that ye are the sons and daughters of God, a little lower than the angels. When we really get that, we begin to follow our bliss. We do what works. We stop making it so hard for ourselves. We stop beating our head against the brick wall because it feels so good when we stop. That is learned. We begin to learn our lessons through intuition and inspiration rather than bitter experience. When I was speaking at the Spiritual Unity Movement on Thursday night, we were laughing about Carl Stein, who was here in Palm Springs, and he brought his 92-year-old mother. And she said, oh, I just want to learn how to get along with my son. And he said, and I want forgiveness. So they were the perfect pair, right? The perfect pair. That when we learn forgiveness, which I think is essential for the spiritual life, not necessarily that we have to condone everything, but remember, forgiveness is always a gift to yourself. And that when we release the negative energy that we have about a particular experience, we get our life back. We absolutely get our life back. And when we get our life back, then we can go forward in life. We can begin to express who we are and embrace the amazing, amazing energy that's there for us. Now, do you know what you get when you play, and this is no besmirchment on any country western music, but do you know what you get when you play a country western song backward? You get your house back, your car back, your truck back, your dog back, your partner back. You get it all back. So you know what you get when you get in alignment with the universe? you get it all back, only at a higher level. I had a woman come to me Thursday night. She said, I've lost everything. I said, but you're here. You've got yourself. You've got the energy of your soul, vibration that brought you here tonight. That's just stuff. We're not our stuff. We think we're our stuff. We identify with our stuff. But you know, the only thing that we're going to take with us when we leave the planet is our consciousness, not even our shoes. We're only going to take our consciousness with us. That is what we're going to take. So when it looks like we've lost everything, I always say, look on the horizon of your life, because people, places, and things are there coming in at a higher level, a more spiritual level, when we can let go of it all and realize that I am here, God and I are the majority, and there is none else. Dr. Ernest Holmes said that imagination is really heaven. It's fire from heaven. And when we can ignite with that fire from heaven and realize that out of everything, out of this mud, the stars were made, that energetically we are part of the universe, that there is a divine dance, that we are living our dream, and our dream shifts and changes as we grow and unfold in miraculous ways, that we make a commitment today. If you do not love what you do and do what you love, draw the larger circle. Include it for the moment, and then write down and make a gratitude list of everything that you are grateful for. I do this every day. I have a gratitude list. And in that gratitude list as if you have already accomplished what it is that you want to do. That I am so grateful that I'm living my bliss and doing what I love and loving what I do, and then write down what it is. I am so grateful for my life, that I can be in this way of life, that I can impart sacred knowledge, realizing that I'm only talking to myself. The Dalai Lama said, you know, I get very irritated at times, and I have to really treat myself. But when I come to America and I open up the medicine chest, I see all these different prescriptions. And I thought, oh, if you would just meditate, we can release all these prescriptions. So the prescription for happiness is to meditate, to embody our dream, to acknowledge in whom I live and move and have my being, to realize that joy is the most infallible sign of the presence of God, that yes, that forgiveness is possible. It is possible. If I'm going to live my dream, then I've got to do my work. I've got to realize that the wounding in my life is a sacred wound. The Apostle Paul said, out of my weakness I have found my perfect strength. Out of what didn't work, out of my sorrow, out of all those experiences, I have found my perfect strength. I am redeemed through these experiences, and I can go out and serve others in such a profound way through them. Live your dream. Do what you love. Love what you do. Know that you and God are the majority. That there is an opportunity every single day of our lives to recreate our life. Here's the paints. Here's the brushes. You paint paradise. You paint a life, and in you go. And if you don't like something that is there, you paint it out and you recreate your life. We are all co-creators with our higher power. So I greet you today, not quite as the world greets you, but with profound respect and esteem. And I know that each and every one of us has the power to live our dream. So as I say, Namaste, the God in me celebrates the God in you, and the God in you celebrates the God in me, I know that we are going higher yet. Where are we going? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. And so it is. God bless you.